Hi everyone. So I'm going to do a little bit of a different kind of video today. I found myself, I was about to look at, because I forgot, I didn't even realize this was happening, that the Grammys for the 2020 Grammy Awards, the nominees were announced the other day or yesterday or something. And I was just about to look at the list online. And then I was thinking, before I look at this list, why don't I camera out and then sit down and react to seeing the list for the first time? I've never done something like this on my channel. And I actually thought it would just be a really kind of interesting way for me to talk about certain songs and artists that fell through the cracks for me, that I still had something I wanted to say. Knowing the Grammys, or should I say more the Scammys, my hopes are not very high. I know a few of the nominees already. I've seen some things on Twitter and whatnot. Yeah, I just felt like, getting some of my thoughts out about it would be kind of interesting if anyone's interested in here. So I'm going to start I'm on the Grammy website, and I scrolled all the way to the bottom. There are 84 categories. We're not going to talk about them all. We're only going to talk about the ones that I think are the most relevant, particularly to my channel and what I want to talk about. So we have the first category here. We have Best Music Film for concert performance films or music documentaries. We have Homecoming by Beyonce, a bunch of others that I am not familiar with. I think Homecoming will win that. No surprise for that category. Best music video, we've got to Try by the Chemical Brothers, This Land, Gary Clark Jr., Cellophane by FKA Twigs, Old Town Road, Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus, and Glad He's Gone by Tovlo. Well, the only music video I've actually seen is Glad He's Gone by Tovlo, and actually I'm kind of surprised it's on this list, but actually it's a really cool video. I highly recommend checking it out. I also really like that song. I know I don't really talk about Tovlo on this channel, but I do like her music. Sunshine Kitty, some real bops on that record. I have not heard the whole thing. I kind of just went through the snippets on iTunes and was like, this sounds cool. So I like certain songs on that record. Of course, with Tovlo, I've never really been a full album artist. I don't like everything she does. I think some of it's just like, I don't know, it's just not for me, but some of it is also really catchy and just really well produced and really suave, and I like it. So Glad He's Gone, though, is actually one of the breakout hit songs for me this year. I really like that. Cellophane, FK Twigs, a lot of people want me to review Magdalene on this channel. FKA Twigs is one of those artists that I really wish I could get the time to really get into. She's the kind of artist that I know deserves the kind of attention and time that I really want to give her. I have heard Cellophane. I have not seen the music video. But I see that it's Andrew Thomas Wang who's done music videos for Björk. So, I mean, that does pique my interest. As far as me covering FKA on this channel, though, I wouldn't hold your breath. I'm sorry, there's just so many artists that I already feel like I have to review because I want to, that it's hard for me to like go back and pick, artists that I wouldn't normally listen to. Though, again, I know FKA Twigs is a really amazing artist, and as someone who loves Björk so much, I feel like I'm obligated to check her out. But that sometimes, I gotta be honest with you, when I hear only an artist named by someone who's like, you have to check this person out, I'm sort of like, it makes me not want to. I sort of more organically discover artists, and if they don't sort of just come into my space. I've heard some snippets of some FKA Twigs songs, and I gotta be honest with you, I really wasn't really that into them. I know it was kind of an unfair, not really good listen that I gave them, so don't count that as me just like writing her off. I'm just saying there's a reason why I haven't like been drawn to her discography in the past. It just was like, I wasn't really feeling it. I'm probably gonna get crucified. Oh boy, this is already a minefield I'm stepping into. Just please understand that like there's just so many artists I do want to talk about, and I only have so much time and energy to like film videos on this channel for things. And I may in the future finally really sink my teeth into her music. But like I said, it might also not happen. There's just the nature of there's so much good music out there. I don't know what else to say. Cellophane is a beautiful emotional song. I mean, it's just so stripped back. Okay, best contemporary classical composition, best classical compendium. We don't really, sorry, classical music fans. I mean, I love classical music, but I just don't have time. I don't know any of this. Best choral performance, best opera recording, best orchestral. Okay, best producer of the year, non-classical. We have Jack Antonoff, Dan Auerbach, John Hill, I don't know John Hill, Phineas, and Ricky Reed. Phineas, it's funny, he only has When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, the Billie Eilish album as his credit, whereas all the other producers have like at least 10 things listed in terms of songs and stuff. For me, I think Jack Antonoff honestly deserves it. I mean, he did Taylor Swift's Lover. He also did Norman F. and Rockwell. Um, but I mean, Phineas, I could see him deserving it. Ricky Reed did a lot of like Lizzo and stuff, The Weeknd, Maren Morris. I don't know. Best engineered album, non-classical. When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? That's probably the one I would put as the winner there. I mean, it was pretty well engineered. But I haven't heard any of the other albums in that category, so I feel like it's a bit biased. Best recording package. I'm always interested to see what artists get nominated for this because Björk often gets put in this category at the Grammys. It's a shame. It's like she doesn't win anything, but she wins best packaging. It's like, okay. But nothing that I'm really familiar with. Okay. Number 61, best song written for visual media. We have The Ballad of the Lonesome Cowboy by Randy Newman for Toy Story 4. Girl in the Movies by Dolly Parton for Dumplin'. Gosh, I felt like that was a long time ago, that Netflix movie. I never saw it, but gosh, that was within the Grammy period. I'll Never Love Again from A Star Is Born, Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper. There's a lot of songwriters for that one. Spirit by Beyonce for The Lion King, and Suspirium by Tom York for the film Suspiria. Gosh, I never saw that movie. I heard it got kind of bad reviews, which is a shame because Suspiria is such a classic horror film. Well, for me, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I'll Never Love Again by From A Star Is Born it's probably the best song on that soundtrack. So honestly, that's probably the one category I actually want A Star Is Born to win. Because I gotta be honest with you, the fact that A Star Is Born has straddled 2 Grammy periods, because Shallow came out before the cutoff for the 2019 Grammys, but then the soundtrack came out a week later, which was after the cutoff. So now it's in the 2020 Grammys period. This soundtrack, and it's getting way, like, I'm just sick of hearing about A Star Is Born, especially when it comes to awards. It swept through the Oscars, and Shallow did really well at the Grammys last year, but the only song I want to see get some recognition is I'll Never Love Again, because that is an amazing song. But I'm kind of over A Star Is Born, to be honest. It's just the songs are beautiful, but they get old after a while. Ooh, best score soundtrack for visual media. We have Avengers Endgame, Chernobyl. Has anyone seen that series on HBO? I don't have HBO, but I watched it on Amazon Prime. That series was good. Interesting that the soundtrack was nominated. Game of Thrones Season 8, The Lion King by Hans Zimmer, and Mary Poppins Returns, Mark Shaman. Well, I'm going to have to say Mary Poppins Returns gets my vote because I loved that movie. I loved that score. I reviewed it on this channel. I actually think it was a perfect example of like a revamped musical that actually had songs with real possible longevity to them. I don't think that they were bad compared to the original classic, Mary Poppins songs we're so used to. I know some people will disagree with me, but for the most part, those were pretty good songs that were composed for the sequel, and I really loved that film. So that's who I would have win that. Best compilation soundtrack for visual media, The Lion King, The Songs. I guess that was like not the Beyonce album, but like the Disney one they put together. Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, various artists. Rocket Man by Taron Egerton, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and A Star Is Born. Well, see, here's the thing. Honestly, I'm sorry A Star Is Born, but I think I'm going to have to give this one to Rocket Man because, oh my gosh. I mean, that was an amazing film. I almost wanted to talk about it on this channel, but now I'm getting a chance to. I highly recommend you see this film. It is like a musical on screen. It is so well executed. The theatrics, the elements of fantasy mixed with the costuming and the choreography and the gravity of the performances, Taron Egerton's voice, it's so well done, and they really bring the songs to life. So, I mean, yeah, I think that trumps A Star Is Born, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I like A Star Is Born too. Okay, best musical theater, meh. Best comedy album, relatable, Ellen DeGeneres. Well, I don't know. Best world music album. Gosh, I really wish I was more into world music. I really should be. I'm so interested by the concept of world music and like listening to different cultures and such. and their different instruments and everything. Reggae, regional roots album, best folk album. I don't know any of these artists. Oh, except for Patty Griffin, but haven't heard it. Contemporary blues, yeah, that's not my thing. Best bluegrass album, yeah, definitely not my thing. Ooh, best American roots performance. One of the nominees is Saint Honesty by Sarah Bareilles. Fun fact, I just saw Sarah Bareilles in Philadelphia at the Met during her Amidst the Chaos tour. And I'm actually really happy to see Sarah Bareilles nominated for something because honestly, I really feel like Amidst the Chaos, although I don't know if it's her best album she's put out, it's one of the better records put out this year for sure. But I had a feeling that if The Blessed Unrest, which was nominated back in 2014 for the Grammys, but never won anything, if that one didn't even win anything, but it was still nominated, I felt like Amidst the Chaos probably wasn't even going to be nominated. The industry has been sleeping on Sarah Bareilles so criminally, and Sarah Bareilles is also pretty successful, but they give artists who are not as talented or as, I think, iconic as Sarah all these awards, but they still neglect to give Sarah her dues. She deserves a Grammy at this point. She's been around for over 10 years. She still doesn't have a Grammy. I mean, she'll probably get a Tony sooner than that because of Waitress, which is also amazing. But seeing Saint Honesty performed live, that's one of the best songs off her most recent record. I'm so glad to see that nominated, although I'm surprised this is a category I didn't even know existed. Best American Roots Performance. Wow, interesting. Well, hopefully that one wins. I'll be really upset if it doesn't. I don't think that's a televised win, so she's still not going to, be able to stand on the stage with that Grammy, which she deserves. But I have a feeling Amidst the Chaos was not nominated, and it's gonna piss me off. Okay, so we got a bunch of Latin, roots gospel. Okay, best new age album. Fairy Dreams by David Arkenstone. Gosh, I didn't know David Arkenstone is still making music. Homage to Darkness by David Darling. Wings, Peter Cater. Verb, Sebastian Plano. And Deva by Deva Premal. Wow, interesting. Well, I love David Arkenstone. I mean, he kind of just cranks them out at this point, I guess. Haven't heard any of these, but the New Age category is always a category no one else cares about, but I do because even though I hate that genre name. Best country album. I really don't care about country that much, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I hope the Pistol Annies win, though. I like their, it's a bunch of women. It's not like, these like nice to see women doing the long country. Best country song. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. I haven't heard any of these. Okay, best rap album. I mean, I don't have much to say because I don't really listen to any of this. I haven't really listened to any of these albums. Yeah, I mean, I would put Tyler the Creator with Igor in there as my winner just because I like Tyler the Creator, but I haven't heard much of his stuff. It's just he's the only one on that list I've heard some and actually have enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, for best rap song, I just don't have anything to say. Yeah, Lil Nas X is on some of these lists. I'm not surprised. For best R&B album, probably LMI, her debut. I would put that for there. Best urban contemporary has Lizzo's "Cause I Love You." I could definitely see that one winning that just because she has so much clout in the industry right now. For best alternative music, let's see. I mean, I've heard some of Father of the Bride by Vampire Weekend. I heard a little bit of I by Bon Iver. Wasn't really that into it, I gotta be honest with you. I don't know who Big Thief is. Tom York's Anima, I haven't heard. I guess I would give it to Vampire Weekend. I'm trying to get more into their music. I've heard some of their older stuff because I'm compiling a very long list of the 100 favorite songs of the decade, and it's a difficult list to compile, and it's making me also kind of listen to artists I wouldn't normally listen to. Best rock album. Sorry, I don't really listen to rock. Definitely do not listen to metal. Oh my god. Best dance electronic album. Gotta be honest with you, I've not really listened to any of that. Not too surprised. Best dance recording. Yeah, I don't know any of these. Oh, I feel like I don't know music. Best pop vocal album. Okay, so we got to the big categories here. We have The Lion King, The Gift, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish, Thank You Next by Ariana Grande, Number 6 Collaborations Project by Ed Sheeran, and Lover by Taylor Swift. Um, Not too surprised by these picks. Best pop vocal album. Gosh, this one's I mean, there's who I think is going to win, and then there's who I want to win, and then who I wish was nominated. First of all, again, Sarah Bareilles, Amidst the Chaos. I would have put it in there, this category. Um, I just, again, it bugs me. It would have been in there for me. Definitely like no for the Ed Sheeran project. That was just a phone-in project. I mean, I only heard some of it, but from what I heard, like it's cool that he wanted to do a collaborations project. It is what it is, but it just sucks that it gets nominated just because it's Ed Sheeran. It's just sort of like he could put out a mixtape of farting noises and it would get nominated. I really don't want Thank You Next to win because a lot of people are like, why didn't you review that album? And to be completely honest, it's nothing against Ariana. It just came out at a really busy time in my life. And then by the time I felt like I actually recorded a review for it. And then I was going to wait and edit and upload it because I didn't have time to edit and upload it at the time. And then I lost the footage. I lost the freaking footage somehow. That's what happened. That's why you don't just like let things sit on your phone. And by that point, I didn't care. It was like a month after the album came out, and I was just like, you know what? I don't feel like re-recording this review. I just don't care enough. I'm sorry. Um, I don't think Thank You Next is a horrible album by any means. I knew it was going to be nominated. I'm not surprised. But I'm not entirely like the biggest Ariana fan. I feel like I don't know if it felt like it was too soon. It just with the fact that, Sweetener came out and then she immediately moved on to the next thing. I honestly feel like Sweetener should have been scrapped and she should have used the best songs from that era and combined them with the songs from Thank You Next and made one really good album because both of those albums have filler, but Sweetener has a hell of a lot more filler. And if she took the best from both of those albums to make one good album, could you imagine how good that album would have been? She should have just held off on releasing Sweetener. That's my, and saved the good songs from that and put them with what was with Thank You Next. Of course, I mean, she was inspired to write because of the breakup with Pete Davidson and all of that, which happened afterwards, and the death of Mac Miller and all of those things, which you could never foresee. So, anyway, the Billie Eilish record, honestly, if it won, I would be happy. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. I mean, Lover, okay, here's the thing with Taylor Swift. I hate to say it, I'm so sorry, but I really do think that Lover is Taylor's worst album to date. And I know some people are going to really hate me for saying this because they'll be like, what about Reputation? I'm not a huge Reputation fan either, but at least Reputation felt cohesive, and it had somewhat strong singles. I know it had like rap and stuff, but there's something about Lover that just doesn't have replay value for me. It's way too bloated of an album. It doesn't deserve to have 18 songs. There are so many songs on there that should have been cut. It's got horrible lead singles. I mean, Me was just absolutely terrible. I'm sorry. Oh my God. And then You Need to Calm Down is okay, but it is certainly not something I'm excited about or come back to. The only real songs or couple songs, the one song that's really keeping this album afloat is the title track. But yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone's going to be gunning for that one to win because they want Taylor to win something for this record. But I hate to break it to you, but it's just not that good. I'm sorry. Personally, I would almost pick The Lion King, The Gift. I love that record. And I absolutely hate that. If we go further up in the categories, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Homecoming usurp The Gift album. Because I actually think The Gift album is pretty good. I did review that. Just because it's, from the culture of it, the world music element of it. It's dipping its toes into different waters that the Western audience might not be familiar with. But yeah, I would say I would probably actually want Billie to win this, but I guess I would give it to Taylor Swift as well. I wouldn't hate it. But I don't want Ed Sheeran or Ariana to win it. I really don't, especially Ed. Best traditional pop vocal album. Walls by Barbra Streisand. I would give it to that. That's for sure. Best pop duo group performance. Oh God, this is why I hate the Grammys. I hate all of these songs. I haven't heard Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee, but I hate Boyfriend. I hate Sucker. That Jonas Brothers album is so bad. Oh my God, makes me want to vomit. Old Town Road. I hate to be someone crapping on things that are popular all the time with the younger generation, but that song was so overrated. You know how I feel about it. And if anything, I guess I would give it to that song though, just because of the memes and everything. Like it did have a cultural appeal to it that none of these other songs had. So honestly, I would probably give it to Old Town Road. Okay, best pop solo performance: Spirit by Beyonce, Bad Guy Billie Eilish, Seven Rings Ariana Grande, no thanks. Truth Hurts by Lizzo, and You Need to Calm Down by Taylor Swift. Oh boy, oh boy. Best pop solo performance. Maybe it's just the year we've had in pop music has not been very strong, because I guess a lot of the artists I think I would nominate, I'm like, is that pop? I guess you would say it is pop, but I'm trying to think who else I would nominate who came out within the eligibility period. Head Above Water, the song, I guess technically came out before that, didn't it? Came out in September of last year by Avril. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would give it to either Bad Guy by Billie Eilish or You Need to Calm Down by Taylor Swift. If Spirit won, I wouldn't be mad though. I wouldn't be mad. Um, Really, the only one I don't want to win is Seven Rings by Ariana. I really don't like that song. It's one of her worst songs. Best New Artist. Well, the only ones I've heard of are Rosalia, Maggie Rogers, Lizzo, Lil Nas X, and Billie Eilish. Actually, this is really hard. I really would love to see Maggie Rogers get this one. I know I haven't talked about her on this channel. Maggie Rogers' music is hit or miss for me. I feel like she's trying so hard to be Florence and the Machine, but the chords just ain't working for me. I don't know. There's something about like she's trying so hard and then she does choices instrumentally and musically, and I'm just not quite sure about them. I think Light On is her best song because it's really good. It's an amazing pop song. As a matter of fact, best pop solo performance, we should have Light On by I don't know when the song came out, but I think it was after October 2018. Oh, maybe it wasn't. Maybe the song came out before that. I don't know. I would nominate Light On by Maggie Rogers. That was a good song. And that's like pop. That's a good song. It's like kind of 80s, but it's so good. But Billie Eilish honestly deserves it. I know she's not that new, but like this was her debut year. I could see Lizzo winning it, but I don't know if she will. I don't know if she will. Song of the year. Oh boy. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Finally, we're seeing someone I really want to see nominated. Lana Del Rey's Norman F. and Rockwell. Finally. Okay. Always Remember Us This Way from A Star Is Born. I mean, it's a good song. I'm not hating that. Bad Guy. Bring My Flowers Now by Brandy Carlisle. That's kind of random. Hard Place by H.E.R. I must admit, I don't know H.E.R. I've heard the name, don't know. Lover by Taylor Swift. Norman F. and Rockwell. I guess that's the title song. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised that song's nominated out of all the others. What about The Greatest? The Greatest. What the heck? Someone You Loved, Louis Capaldi. I don't know who that is. And Truth Hurts by Lizzo. Well, again, this sucks because to me, Truth Hurts really shouldn't be nominated because that song came out so long ago. Truth Hurts came out in like 2017, didn't it? So why is it nominated at the 2019 Grammys? Doesn't it not meet the eligibility period? I guess it's because it peaked on the charts in this eligibility period. They couldn't ignore it. But I don't know. I hate how they bend the rules for certain artists. My choice, actually, I hate to say it, but out of the songs listed here, I have to give it to Lover by Taylor Swift because although I love Lana and I would love to see her win, the title track is not the best song off that album. There are better songs. And in this list, Lover, the song, is really good. I've heard some people compare it to like Etta James and like saying it's the love song of our generation. And I'm like, well, okay, calm down a little bit. But like, let's be real. It's the best song on Lover, and it's still a really good song. I mean, it's top 25 of the year for sure in terms of songs that were released. It's completely self-written by Taylor. It's earnest. It's just heartfelt. It's feel good. It's amazing. It's really well written. Well, everything. So I would give it to Lover. But yeah, and I think Lover might win. I think Lover might win, but I think people are thinking that Bad Guy might win or Truth Hurts. I don't know. Okay. All right. So here we go. We have Album of the Year. Okay. I by Bon Iver. I do not understand why Bon Iver is so. I don't know. It's like, what about Yonali? Okay, what about Aurora? All right, what about all these other alternative artists? But we give this guy, this male, who does like kind of wandering, aimless instrumental music. We give him so much clout and like success because he's had like a few good songs, but his new record I heard was not that good. I don't know. Norman F. and Rockwell by Lana Del Rey. When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish. Thank You Next by Ariana Grande. I Used to Know Her by H.E.R. Seven by Lil Nas X. Cause I Love You and by Lizzo and Father of the Bride by Vampire Weekend. Wow, I'm actually surprised Vampire Weekend got nominated for this. It's so easy for me. It's so easy for me that this goes to Lana with Norman Rockwell. I think people are surprised that Lover by Taylor Swift was not nominated. I'm kind of surprised it wasn't, to be honest, too. I'm surprised Vampire Weekend was nominated for this, and Bon Iver to a certain extent. But yeah, Norman Rockwell, Album of the Year for sure. Other albums that I would have nominated: Amidst the Chaos by Sarah Bareilles, Don't Feed the Pop Monster by Broods. Come on. I mean, that was an amazing, maybe that should be pop vocal, actually. I would have nominated that record. So many, my own personal album of the year is Shadow Works by Curly. Like, I know I would never see that nominated for this, but like, I would, that's my album of the year, just in terms of like the monumentality of it. But Norman Rockwell also, like, it's a tie between those two records. I think I talked about that in my Norman Rockwell review. Norman Rockwell is just such an epic. It's such a masterpiece. I mean, after 2.5 months of the album being out, I keep having trouble deciding what my favorite song is because there's just, one week I love Bartender. The next week it's The Greatest again. Then now I'm like, Happiness is a Butterfly is like everything. Like, I cannot decide. Then there's Love Song. I'm like, there's so many good songs, so many classics that are going to be timeless, that are only aged like wine. I'm like, people, okay, Pitchfork put out that best album, that 200 albums of the decade, and some people were like, why is Norman F. and Rockwell on this list? It only came out a few weeks ago. It doesn't have time to like give it. No, 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 no. Certain albums you hear and you know that it is a classic, that it deserves to be on year-end lists without needing any more days to pass. That album deserved to be on the Pitchfork list. I was glad Pitchfork didn't, think, oh, it's too soon, I can't put anything from this fall into that list. No, 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 no. That album is going to have longevity. Like, seriously, it's a classic. One of the albums of the decade for me, in personal opinion. I think it might be Lana's best album, and yeah, like, just so deserves to win. However, do I think it's gonna win? I really don't know. I mean, last year I was so happy that Casey Musgraves pulled through, so that's what makes me think that Norman Rockwell might make it, that Lana might make it this time. Because the Academy has been ignoring Lana for so long, just like they had been ignoring Casey. So I'm like really hoping that like the buzz and everything will give it to her. However, Billie Eilish, I guess, would be the only other one who might take it. And Ariana Grande, I feel like they could. If they give it to her, I'm going to be so mad, though. Billie's the only other artist on here who deserves to take Lana's spot. Okay, so then we have Record of the Year. Now, there's a difference between Record of the Year and Song of the Year. Song of the Year is given as a songwriter award, whereas Record of the Year is considering, the producers and the mixers. So there's a reason why Lover by Taylor Swift was nominated for Song of the Year, but not Record of the Year, because it's purely about the songwriting for that one, not so much the production. All right, so Record of the Year, we have Hey Ma by Bon Iver. Okay, Bad Guy, Billie Eilish, Seven Rings, Ariana Grande, Hard Place by H.E.R., Talk by Khalid, Old Town Road, Lil Nas X, Truth Hurts by Lizzo, and Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee. Oh boy. Haven't heard some of these. Like I said, I haven't heard Hard Place or Sunflower, or I think I heard Hey Ma. I think I did. Was obviously forgettable. Gotta be honest with you, I really don't like any of these choices. It almost makes me want to just give it to Old Town Road because, like I said, as much as I think it's silly of a song, it's like, but it had such an appeal and mass effect on the mainstream that it had such a zeitgeist, you know? That I feel like for the cultural moment, you got to give it that. None of the other, I mean, Truth Hurts kind of did as well, but I guess Bad Guy, it's the only song on this list that I would like actually want to listen to, even though it's not my favorite Billie Eilish song. But that's hard. That's really hard. I mean, I guess the production on Bad Guy is pretty good, so I would want to give it to Phineas. That's who I would make win. It's mixed well. It's, I mean, come on, talk about that engineering, like the vocal processing and everything, the drop beats and everything. Like, come on, you got to give hand to Phineas here for the production on that song. Pretty immaculate. So some of the others can't compare. Sorry, Bon Iver. Okay, well, that's what I have to say. Again, like I said, my predictions, I predict Ariana or Billie are probably going to do really well, but I hope that Lana pulls through. Like I said, album of the year for Lana. That's what I'm hoping for. It's really the only award I really care about. Any of the others, it's like, well, we're already snubbing so many greats anyway. And I will say the biggest snub, beyond, of course, I do think that Norman F. and Rockwell deserve to be nominated for Best Pop Vocal Album. Don't quite understand that. I guess they don't think Lana is so pop. She's more alternative. So that's why they didn't nominate her for that. But Sarah Bareilles, Amidst the Chaos, was also one of the big snubs for this year. And obviously, in my own personal opinion, Shadow Works by Curly as well. I mean, come on. Like, but those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what you think, what you hope to win. I gotta be honest, I really don't. Lizzo is nominated like 8 times. I think she should be one of those artists who's nominated a lot, but I don't actually think she's going to win anything, at least in like the really, really big categories, like the top 3 or 4 categories. I think she'll win one of those 8, but it'll probably be, you know, for like best R&B performance or whatever some of those down list categories were, where it's like her and other R&B rap artists. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm rooting for Lana. Come on, Academy. Like, let's pull this through. I think Alicia Keys is hosting the Grammys this year. And also the Grammys are early. They're on January 26th. That's interesting. So thank you all so much for watching. Remember, this is all just my opinion. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and subscribe if you did. Peace, love, and light. Bye.